Gonna be Hasten first up versus Chicago. Starting off with the Ghost Souls off the bat into a full stun, full void eruptions. Trying to see if he can get a better angle. Big burst of Chicago with a silence as they do go in for a wall. Chicago under pressure. Mind games to follow. Is gonna wait it out for a second. Got himself a bit of a maelstrom to catch up with a quick fear for Hasten right after with Shadow Crash around the corner, not letting the Shaman really play the game much. And Chicago so far has been able to survive the onslaught by the Shadow Priest in the opener. And so far, just kind of waiting it out, just waiting until they can give himself a little bit of healing. Playing it super safe, super carefully for a while. Is going to be going himself for a bit of an opener versus Haster. Sunder trying to establish control. Ghost Raptors join in. Big Elemental Blaster follow. Trying to see if they can pick himself up a little bit of a big Storm Strike right after. Going to be Haster trying to get some channels. Definitely needs to go for more mind plays if he wants to get himself more technical spawning in. Mind games right after. Big blast onto Chicago. Does have himself a grounding totem so they can use the ground totem at the right time. They'll only be able to avoid a lot of damage from Haster in general and a lot of the pressure of the Shadow Priest. As Haster still needs to get more mind plays in there. Like channeling mind plays, it kind of puts you out in the open because you can get interrupted. But if you can get yourself a tentacle to pop in, that could be major. A big incentives for Chicago. Huge procs. Do they have the big Storm Striker? Mad damage on the Haster. Having to go for Disperse before Chicago gets to ramp up any further. And Chicago just keeps punishing him, man. It's a big 60% damage reduction with healing. And Chicago just ends up countering it entirely with just raw damage alone. Big Elemental follow. Do they get him so big Storm Strike? Needs another proc. Haster with a stun. Trying to see if he can back up out of it. Does he have anything to follow? Got himself a little bit of a heal. But Chicago got himself full Raptors available. Guardian Spirits available if they need to. Stun totem around the corner. Haster with a big hit. Does have a trigger, but a second stun is going to come out either way. That does go for Disperse. It looks like Chicago is going to have to maybe pull back a little bit and then unleash the full amount of burst as soon as Haster comes out of the dispersion. Now is the time to make something happen. Tremor Totem gets him out of the fear very quickly. Haster can't really have any stops with Chicago whatsoever. Maybe in trouble. Does himself maybe a little bit of healing. Power Word Life coming back up very soon. Vampiric Embrace should be available as well. Trying to go for more Mindful Insanities, but I think as the death throws of a Shadow Priest, trying to do whatever he can. Does not want to give up to Chicago, but I think the Shaman Mage's Album does have a tentacle. And the tentacle not attacking Chicago though, it's attacking the pets. Now it's on Chicago. This opportunity for Haster to make a play. Trying to see if he gets CC on Chicago. Chicago trying to avoid the tentacle. Does not get hit by the void eruptions. Mind games right after. Got himself a little bit of damage. That's why I think you just break past the defenses and just blast him out entirely. Big lightning zapping, zipping right through the body of the Shadow Priest, singeing him to bits. The bones, I imagine the bones fall apart. Big blast out of there. Oh my god. Watching Chicago go in and have a long duel with Haster. Work him down, cooldown by cooldown. I mean, oh my god, the damage out of this Arcane Mage. I was gonna say, watch Chicago work him down little by little. I mean, it took a lot of effort, but they did do it. And then you have Roth come in, hit these boys with the barrages, send them flying off the platform, leave them with no health, just absolutely nuke them, obliterating these guys. You could try to see if you catch up a little bit of health. Roth try to find an angle, follow him around the corner onto the Zuen while Yuko is burning from the ring of fire. Root to follow as he's trying to see if he closes the gap. Arcane misses from a distance, touching the Mages in the ready. Big splashes, big fire breath onto the Fist of Fury. Trinkets for it, but may not have enough here. Barrage could end him right now, and I think it may just be over. Oh, just missiles. Didn't even go for a barrage at the end. Maybe saving that for later. As Rob tried to go for a bit of a resetty. My goodness. Diabolicals though. Destruction Warlock versus an Arcane Mage. Which one of these two is going to win? I feel like Rob, if you can separate him from the pets, he will be in a good spot. Does end up getting a fear or a freeze onto that main pet. Trying to plant a ring of fire somewhere near Diabolicals so that he can do the percentage health damage. But Diabolicals having a lot of health. Percentage health damage is going to be valuable. Roth looking for a little bit more cooldowns. Does have an ice block in case he needs to. If he can get himself some defenses in between, he'll be in a great spot. Chaos Bolt coming out as he does get interrupted on that fear. Soul Fire to follow right after. It's going to be a second BCC onto Rob. Trying to see if he can reduce a lot of the damage. Trying to imagine still onto Diabolicals. Trying to see if he can blast him out. Trying to see if maybe he can steal Spell Reflect. Diabolicals have no health. Does go for a big one like House. So trying to see if he can counter back damage towards Rob. But Rob no longer has a heal with the ice block. It got himself a massive wisdom, so at least able to escape the portals. But definitely just to sit down and get himself food as soon as possible. Whatever food you can get, especially while Diabolicals doesn't have a lot of mobility to catch up to you immediately. Any kind of food you eat right now is going to be valuable. Got him some more portals. You can't escape the nether portals. And as long as he can maybe escape the Succubus, does get a trip on the Succubus, will not have an interrupt for Diabolicus. Just try to see if he can find himself some survivability. Breath available, breath off of that Mortical. Diabolicus is trinketing for it, sending the Warlock and the pet flying back. Succubus CC establishes, but Diabolicus did have to take a little bit of globals. Did take a bit of time to try to see if he can catch back up to Roth. Reflect up. Maybe he can spell steal it. Roth with no help whatsoever. I don't know how this man gets any kind of healing. Got himself a shield. Had to cancel the power shift. But I think it may be over for the Arcane Mage. He did everything he could. But a tanky Destro Warlock, I feel like I have to walk into this class with full cooldowns in order to be able to bypass it. That's a rough one. Stone going to be up next as a Retribution Paladin just getting blasted out by Diabolicals. Just all over the place, all over the screen. Blinded Diabolicals, that's up a wall with the Dark Back for it. Should be able to survive the damage. Stone could be in trouble. Every time you attack a Warlock, he could instant cast at you. Bubble for the Paladin while staying low on health. Just trying to see if he can commit all the damage. Every global to doing damage and taking down Diabolicals. And is going to be able to smite him out of this arena. With Fade Away walking in, quicker road, kid shot established hold out. Stone has nothing for this one. That's why you don't really want to commit a lot of cooldowns. Just take him out fairly quickly and get him out of here. Tree gonna be up next. Feral Druid looking to rip some bleeds into Fade Away. Fade Away is also a bleed based class, so honestly should try to go for the dumb dots. Evasion early on to deny the Feral any bleeds would have been fantastic. Clicker Shadows doing maybe something for you. Big death mark is gonna be on Tree. Does he just want to peel back? Tree got him some big defensive evasion up for Fade Away. He doesn't have a lot of health. Does go, I think, for Warlock Hellstone. Trying to see if he can stay on top of Tree as best as he can. Does hit him with a shiv. Cheap shot right after. Does he have the dots? The dots could maybe take him down. Tree trying to see if he can just add this right here. It's going to let the bleeds take down the rogue. But Tree looks like Deathmark doesn't really do much anymore. I mean, it does stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's a cooldown. But they did nerf it by like what? From a 70% effectiveness to a 50%? 20% nerf, and Deathmark no longer hits nearly as hard. Normally, that would melt the Feral Druid through bear form. But 20% nerf with the Garrote nerf? Kind of a good combo. Tree getting yoinked back in as EDK does not want to let him go anywhere. With Airless being the last one left, is he going to go for the big Flagellation full shadow build? Cold Blood ready. Does he want to go himself a proper go? Is he even playing Secret Technique? I would be very surprised if you're not playing. Actually, I could see you just not play Secret Technique. I could see this man be like, you know what, too easy. Too easy. Got him some Shadow Strikes back to back, striking past the DK's defenses. DK does have the rogue surrounded, trying to see if he can waddle away Death back for a second, but he's just completely necrotic down. The rogue just will not make an error tonight. Is gonna stay on him the entire game and just pressure him until he's down. Did everybody get a chance to play? Literally everybody got a chance to play. We gotta go again, man. I think we need a bit of a rematch at some point between Seavark and Diabolicals. Also Seavark and Chicago.